What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Astonishing X-Men. How good are they going to be? What can we expect from them? How heavy should you invest in them? How are they going to stack up against the symbiotes? We're going to answer all that and more. So let's get into it. But all right, so yeah, been getting a lot of questions about how good this Astonishing X-Men team is going to be. And we can make a pretty good educated guess at this point because we now have all of the characters' kits and stats. So obviously this team is primarily a raid team. I do expect them to be pretty above average in all game modes, but they definitely get major bonuses in raid. So kind of like the Fantastic Four being an above average team in just about any game mode, but being a completely different monster in war. You're going to see something very similar for the Astonishing X-Men. In particular, a lot of that is going to come from the 20% speed and 40% damage that the Jubilee passive is going to give them, which is massive. But so the next question I've been getting a lot is, how heavy should you invest in this team? Are they going to be better than the symbiotes? And so I believe that they are going to be as good as the symbiotes, but for a different purpose. And what I mean by that is, even though they're both raid teams, the symbiotes really thrive on being able to get a lot of kills. If the symbiotes are facing enemies with giant health bars and they're not getting a lot of kills, then one of their major advantages, which is all of the healing and additional speed they get, is basically swept out from under them. So they're a great raid team as long as you're not punching up too much, because if you're trying to punch up too much, they're not going to kill people quick enough and they're really going to suffer for it. Astonishing X-Men, I think, are the ideal raid team for taking on really tough opponents. And I say that because the way the Astonishing X-Men team is kind of structured, anytime someone gets dropped really low, as long as that person isn't killed outright, they have really good rapid recovery mechanics. So someone who was dropped to 10% health will be back up to a healthy level very quickly. So I think in terms of raid content where you're trying to punch up against very tough enemies, Astonishing X-Men are going to do much better there. Another really important tool for helping them do that is anytime an enemy is slowed, Iceman is going to be just outright reducing their damage 30%. So their ability to take hits is going to be pretty good. That, and whenever Bishop is taunting, he's going to have the 20% damage reduction. So they have a lot of things going for them that allow them to take hits from really strong enemies that the symbiotes just don't have. All right, so now we're going to break down a bit about what you can expect this team's output to be and their general combat pattern. So outright, this team does have some characters that counter them really effectively. In particular, characters that ignore blind or ignore evades or have any unavoidable abilities are a major threat to this team because they do rely quite a bit on being able to blind people and being able to evade incoming attacks. So in particular, characters like Hawkeye and Elsa Bloodstone are characters you want to eliminate very quickly when you're playing the Astonishing X-Men. Otherwise, that will end up being big problems for you. As for what their standard combat pattern is going to look like, we're just going to talk about all of their kits consolidated. I'm referencing an excellent post on the subreddit. I apologize if I'm butchering the OP's name, but it looks like Rearthandox. Again, if I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. Please, if you see this, let me know in the comments how to say your name. But yeah, he did a pretty good job of consolidating everything. So just in terms of the passives that they've got going, again, any slowed enemy is going to do 30% less damage outright and have 20% less armor. And again, this is assuming the full team in raid. Anytime they kill any enemy, they're all going to gain 25% speed bar. So they're going to be fairly accelerated, and Beast has other really good ways of gaining speed as well. They're going to have a ton of global stats. They're going to get 20% resistance from Beast. They're going to get 30% max health from Jubilee. And then in raid, they're all going to get 20% more speed, making all of them well above average in terms of their speed, and 40% damage, which is just insane. 40% damage is only slightly worse than just permanently having offense up. And then of course they can still gain offense up. It's a ton of damage. So on every enemy turn, you're going to have Kitty giving an evade to the most injured Astonishing X-Men ally. And then if the enemy is slowed, every time they take a turn, Iceman is going to attack them for some damage, whereas he'll have a 30% chance to attack them even if they're not slowed. So just peppering in little bits of damage, which is nice. On an ally turn, on anyone's turn, you have Jubilee constantly giving out assists, so there's going to be a lot of jumping in with assists, and a lot of their assists are pretty helpful. You have the Kitty assist clearing 2 positive effects, the Beast assist is going to be flipping 2 positive effects, the Iceman assist is going to be slowing, the Jubilee assist is going to be applying blind. Really, the worst assist you can get is going to be Bishop, who will maybe clear counter if they have it, but his assist will just hurt, so that'll be nice anyway. And then on Kitty's turn, she's giving defense up to the 2 most injured members to help protect them. And on Beast's turn, he is doing a tremendous amount of passive healing. He's going to give out a regen, he's going to give out a 15% heal, and if the most injured is an Astonishing X-Men, he's going to do another 20% of his max health. So with the 10% of his health from the regen combined with the other 35%, he is healing for 45% of his max health to whoever's the most in danger immediately. Just 45% max health every turn. That is so much healing. So any member of this team that gets kind of brought to the brink in danger, you have Kitty giving them defense up on her turn, Kitty constantly throwing evades on them, you have Beast healing them for a ton on his turn, and then they have some other really useful mechanics as well. You'll have Bishop jump in with a taunt as soon as someone goes below 50%. You're going to have Beast gain 30% speed bar and ability energy every time someone drops below 50%, which is insane because they're going to be constantly bouncing above and below 50%. So Beast is just going to keep getting speed, keep getting ability energy, and his special, which is another heal on top of his passive, is only 3 energy. So he's going to be doing that constantly while getting tons of turns anyway. It's going to be just a ton of healing output. And if that wasn't enough, anytime someone evades, which keep in mind, on any enemy turn, Kitty is literally giving an evade to whoever's in the most danger. Anytime an ally who's astonishing evades or an enemy who's blinded misses, which Jubilee is going to be passing out plenty of blinds, Kitty is going to heal that person for 10% of their max. So if someone gets dropped low, Beast gets speed and energy, and as soon as he takes his turn, he's going to give him a huge heal and then probably be able to use his special to help them heal more. In the meantime, when Kitty goes, she's giving them defense. Bishop is jumping in with a taunt. They get an evade as soon as an enemy goes, and even if an AoE is fired that would have hit them, they'll evade it, and then Kitty will heal them additionally. So they're just really, really good at protecting anyone who gets low. So they're just going to be dropping super low and bouncing all the way back frequently. And as they start to drop some enemies, they'll start to snowball off the speed bar that they're gaining from killing enemies. So it's just awesome. And as for their damage output, it's going to be really satisfying because they are going to be doing a lot of AoEs. In particular, you have the Bishop ultimate, which he can use every other turn. And you have Beast's ult giving out speed, offense up, defense up, regen. So you're literally going to have Bishop sometimes ulting back to back to back from the ability generation from Beast. And that ultimate is going to do a ton of splash damage, hitting the primary and adjacent. And yeah, it's just going to do a tremendous amount of damage. So they're going to have tons of AoE constantly going out. Almost every character has either some adjacent or a full-on AoE hitting multiple people. You'll have Iceman peppering them with little bits of damage if they're slowed on their turn. You'll have Bishop tanking and constantly retaliating. Anytime someone hits him, he immediately fires back because he has 100% counterattack. So you're going to be putting out a ton of sustained damage, kind of very evenly spread across the board, while being able to very quickly pull characters back from the brink of death. So they're going to do really, really well against super tough enemies, as long as those enemies aren't strong enough to just instantly basically terminate someone on the team. And considering Bishop is literally going to spawn with taunt and defense up and 20% damage reduction, and he's just pretty sturdy as it is, I don't think that that's a real concern. And even when he starts getting into some trouble, he's going to start getting all that treatment that we mentioned regarding the evades and the heals and everything else. So they also have some pretty good control, and I want to mention that. You have Iceman with a targeted stun, you have Jubilee with a targeted stun. Obviously, she's got a lot of blinds. The Jubilee ult can offense down all the enemies for 2 turns. I believe the Kitty Pride special can offense down all the enemies for 2 turns. So you're going to be exerting quite a few control effects on them. And if you use the Jubilee special properly, you can use it on a target who has a blind and literally spread blind to the entire enemy team. So yeah, you can establish a lot of safety. And keep in mind that every time an enemy is taking a turn while blind, they're still generating an evade for the lowest health Astonishing X-Men, and then they're still getting a heal to that lowest health Astonishing X-Men because an attack against them missed, which is going to prompt Kitty to heal them. So yeah, they just have incredible synergy, a fair amount of control, and just a ton of awesome rebound mechanics. But all right, there you have it for my thoughts on what we can expect from the upcoming Astonishing X-Men team. Last bit of advice I do want to throw in, because people have been asking which characters do I want high red stars on, who is it important to have very strong, and you definitely want a moderate amount of stars and red stars on every character on the team. However, there is one character in particular that is going to be doing so much heavy lifting based on their raw stats, and that is Bishop. So if you can get a giant Bishop, if there's a character that you are waiting for an opportunity to wail out on, a strong Bishop will be a very strong base for your Astonishing X-Men team, and if he's ginormous, he'll be able to absorb tons of damage, and he's just putting out so much damage constantly. So yeah, speaking for myself, I want to get a lot of red stars on Bishop, so I'm looking forward to that. But otherwise, that is all I've got for you guys today. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and get a haircut, and I will see you guys real soon. Until next time, peace!